Welcome back. Once a miner, always a miner, they say. And when you look at GIDA, the Ghana Employment Entrepreneurship Development Agency, it's got a module called Youth in Mining. And this module has the potential to facilitate the changeover when it comes to our attitudes on illegal small-scale mining, or galamsey. Now, my resource persons on this topic come to us from the Retired Mine Workers Foundation. And they say that they have some interesting thoughts on mining as far as the youth are concerned. So if you want to join the conversation, just simply post your thoughts, questions and comments to the TV3 Sunrise page on Facebook. And a very interesting post from Jason Tyrus, who says that all the youth would like to wear a suit to work every day. Well, both of my guests are not wearing suit. They are wearing their own style, and actually they look like really like macho guys. Mining, it's the gold. You've been carrying a lot of gold. Good morning, welcome. Okay, two Michaels, Michael Veal and Michael Boogie, correct?
Yes.
All right. Now, I suppose both of you are former miners.
Oh, I've been a mining consultant.
A mining consultant?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I've done more of administration.
Administration?
Before I joined. And
Okay.
I'm into IT as well.
Okay, and into IT as well. So, which fields do you have experience in? Galamsey, small scale, open pit, or deep shaft?
All of them. A lot of
Virtually,
research work has been done.
virtually all of them. Now, what are your thoughts about the youth in mining module of GIDA?
Yeah, of course, we absolutely, we are the sole user organization, and we are playing the management and consultancy role. So we have a deep relationship with GIDA. And upon our proposals that we have come with, and how to modernize the small-scale mining industry, make it more attractive, to attract all levels of manpower, especially the youth in communities. And based on those proposals that we were awarded that contract to manage on that process.
Specifically, how do you go about modernizing small-scale mining and attracting young people into it?
Yeah, so it is in our set goals, the document that we have provided. And so we have started what we call piloting the project. We have begun the projects in central region, somewhere in central region called Ugwan, where we experimented what practically can be possible. So we have finished the pilot project. One of the major features of the whole piloting the project is to target the youth in the communities. The youth either are not actually the galamseyers supposed to be, but the youth that we can train, because there is mining activity there, or it's a place that they have found gold or whatever it is. So we try to organize them, train them, and then reorientate them to adopt measures that are what we call best practices in mining. I mean, how to develop their own style without, creating problems, especially what has been known. I mean, land irrigation, how to destroying the forests, rivers, and that. So we try to, completely differentiate that type of mining into a new type that we train the communities, control the activities, and make sure that they adopt the best and sound practices. By that way, they will develop that and develop the mining in the best way, in the simplest way, and avoid it from what used to be the illegal type or the galamsey type, where they have no regards to.
Mr. Bill, recently the press has been really saturated with stories of illegal Chinese miners who we witnessed an influx, according to press reports, in around 2006. Recently, many of them left, and that's going to leave a lot behind. What do you think can be done about this to the benefit of GIDA and generally young people in local communities?
Well, the first time this came to our notice, I think we embraced it. The reason being that what is supposed to be for Ghanaians has to be left alone for Ghanaians. And on a more serious note, when you get into the land, you get to where the lands are, and you get to see the degradation, the level of hazardous situations they've left there. You know, it's untold. It's way beyond telling. You know, but I think that this is something in the right direction. The only problem I have is that I think it's going a little beyond what probably should have been. You see, yes, the Chinese will have to go. The question we want to ask is, after they've left, what happens to all the problems they've caused?
And what happens to the resources?
Exactly. You know, so the point is this. I thought that there could be measures in place which Youth in Mining is bringing up, you know, where we can cover the problems, you know, solve the problems that they have created. And then we start from there. The point is, you see, if we don't put in solutions right now, and we keep getting people out of it. Now, seriously, it's affecting two ways. One, unemployment problems. Two, the government. You see, because if you look at it, one, when they go in to do the mining, they produce something called gold. Now, this gold is supposed to be of benefit to the government as well, apart from the employment it's creating for the people. So right now that they are not there, there should be some solutions in place where it is that we can get our youth to go and take over, do the best practices, get the gold, and to get the gold to stay within the country. That also can create another level of employment again, because when we have the gold, we will refine, we will add value. We can even start using them, and then other things will happen. But for now, I think that let's say maybe I see like we're in the first phase where it is that we are clearing them out of the system. But once we've gotten them out, there should be a quick solution. And for me, there are people out there. There are people in the bushes. There are citizens, from the country who, if we're able to embrace and to give them the education that they need, they will be able to do equally well like the Chinese were doing, because I'm telling you, they were doing well, even though they were working illegally.
And it's all about doing well, isn't it? It's all about prosperity and, alleviating your poverty. And that's exactly what Emmanuelwich Keshoff Post Senedi says. No money, how can we stop the mining work? I think he is referring to Galamsey. Mm-hmm. So if it's all about alleviating one's poverty, looking for prosperity, and as you mentioned, a lot of the lands are far in the hinterlands, what we call like the bush, remote areas. How are you going to stop them from being exploited by illegal miners, Galamsey? And what exactly are you offering to young people who might want to join you, to partner you, or to be a part of what you're doing? And how do they join, Mr. Bugri?
Yeah, of course. We've already started, like I have indicated. We are piloting such programs. We call it Promo Mines, Youth in Mining Model Project Mines. We in our program, we said that we will be able to establish those type of mines across the country, about 50. That is initially what we have done. We want to do, like I've said, we don't even say that it's a vacuum created, because the Chinese also came to meet illegal miners at the same time. But what we are saying is that, for example, if the government, if I need government major funding, like my other colleague has said, it is up to the government to look into various programs that have put forward. We have been able to come out with short, medium, and long-term programs. And then we have also come out with a very good structure, like bringing all the fragment organizations in the small-scale mining industry, for example, and then put them under a chamber of some sort. In this way, we'll be able to monitor, put up certain monitoring process, then get on board especially our young graduates in the geology, environmental management, and others into this chamber, where we can strictly monitor the activities of these illegal miners. In fact, they are Ghanaians, and we don't have to criminalize the work they are doing. I don't think that if proper measures are put in place, we will not be able to teach them in the best form how they can do. it needs contested effort from both the government and all stakeholders and all spirited Ghanaians who are interested in seeing that the illegality is wiped off and proper system is put in place, like in other countries, Burkina Faso and others, where the government is very, very seriously monitoring and controlling and financing some aspect of their project, so that we can achieve maximum result in terms of sustainable employment to the youth and also some sort of revenue to the government. For example, we met the minister the last time and we were discussing about the downstream gold. What it means was that the gold that have been produced all over these years through illegal Chinese involvement and all kinds of things were actually the gold. So we're telling him that yes, that downstream gold is something we have to account for it. It can be said that the PMMC buys it as the legal entity that does that. But whatever goes into it, nobody knows. How they even take this gold away, nobody knows. So the youth in our programs also look into this area, that if the government is very serious with the government, anyway, not a particular government. Some of these things we have put forward and what I have been saying right now, put in place, we'll be able to track the gold, make it, use it properly, put up very good structures and attract, all manpower, all levels of manpower in this country. So these are some of the things that...
Youth in mining. Okay, let's look at 4 things before we wrap up. Let's look at what you think the biggest success has been of this module so far. What you think the biggest challenge is, yes? And what the biggest opportunities and what the biggest threat is. So let's start with the success, the good news. What is the biggest success so far of the Youth in Mining module of GIDA?
Yeah, the biggest success that has been chalked is our ability to pilot the program in the identifiable place like Ogwan, the central region, and how they were trained to adopt best practices in mining. For example, we managed to organize them to dig a dam within where we managed to put down about 30-acre land, either to a very forest area, and they managed to put them all, put all the trees, level it, create a road leading to the place, and put up structures and how to conducive for them to work. These are some of the major things we have done.
Okay, what about major challenges or even failures, Mr. Bugri? Sorry, Mr. Veal.
The biggest challenge, first of all, is the acquisition of lands for the youth in mining. Acquisition of rich ore areas for the youth in mining. What we have is lands for small-scale mining, and most of the time they aren't too bad. But then you see, in wanting to get the youths jobs to do, it means that whatever you are extracting has to be, it has to be up to the level, so that the people can get something. And the biggest challenge is that most of the time, by the time these lands that are offered for these purposes are prospected, you find that the level of richness within the land is not up to standard. So what happens is they go in there and they don't get much. You see, so it's one of the biggest challenges, that I think that is actually affecting the youth.
You've touched on a really interesting point. I want to ask you this: from the way you see things, can we say that can we say fairly that illegal and legal mining are only separated by the legality of the operation, or is the scale also separate? In other words, would it be fair to say that Galamsey is micro mining and small scale mining is therefore its larger cousin or its larger stage? Or are they all on the same of the same size in terms of operation?
Now the word is legality, but that even could be divided into 2. You see, the point is, if I give you a license, your activities will tell whether you're doing what is right or not. So the point is, you get a license and you go in there and do what you're not supposed to do. You're degrading lands. You are destroying water bodies. automatically, even though you are licensed to work, the activity itself, the process used, is not legal. You see, so the thing is, Youth in Mining is looking at a situation where we put control measures in place. In fact, we're looking at having a centralized database system within the country where we can identify who is mining where. So the point is, if you degrade, we find you to correct it. You know, so these it's not just about a license, because if it's just about licenses, the people have got money and they could always go in for a license. But the point is, we will come from a different angle. Yes, the license, but before then, we think that, you know, these best practices have to be injected into the people, and then they are given the license. Then when they get on the land, they will go and do what they're supposed to. Because if you come in there to maybe drive them away in the name of Galamsey, and then you come to find that, interestingly, they're doing what is right. They're covering pits. They're doing, you know what I mean? The only difference is that they don't have a document. That is all. And if you listen to all these discussions that have gone on, it is not about license. It is about degrading of the land, destroying of water bodies, and these are what Youth in Mining is standing for. So then we now will become like middlemen. Then we recommend to Minerals Commission. These people have been trained. These people have gone through the process. These people have been taught what to do and what not to do. And Youth in Mining will make sure they do that. Then they are licensed. You see, because if you give them, like for instance, right now, I'm just coming from the Eastern region, and I'm telling you, on my way, I saw various excavators moving out of the bush because of, you know, the tax force thing going on. But the interesting thing for you to know in the bush right now is that so many pits are open and they're not covered. But that is not to say that is everybody doing that there. I'm telling you, a typical example I can give to you. I'm just coming from Inem. There's a man there called Ibrahim Mohammed. Believe me, he opens a pit, he covers it. He opens another one, he covers it. You understand? And they start planting trees on the thing. He's giving them boreholes. He's built, you know, funeral grounds for them, you know, giving them lights. Come on, so many things. And this is somebody, I mean, it's not in a picture. You see, but then they round them all up as galamseyers. Why? Because they don't have a license. But the thing is, somebody is doing something right, whilst another person is not doing the right thing. Now, the point is, if we go in there in the name of just chasing licenses, we have a problem. Because somebody could have a license, but the activity that is on the ground doesn't meet the demand. You know, so that is also another very big challenge. I think that whilst we are looking at, of course, getting the people to be licensed, to make it legal, the legality doesn't end with just a document called license. It is more to do with the right thing being done on the ground. Because believe me, when the task force move in, they run helter-skelter. I'm talking about an area where you can see almost about 300 to 400 people running helter-skelter. Some jump into rivers. I mean, so many things happen there. You see, and why are they doing that? Because they don't have a license. I think that before the licenses are issued, because I think right now, a lot of them, like they've come to us already, they're talking to us, they want us to go and help them acquire licenses so that they can go and work. But before we will do that, we want to make sure that, one, they have gotten the best practices up here first, so that when they are given the license, they know that they're supposed to go there and do what they're supposed to do.
Who qualifies to work with you? Who qualifies to work with you, with your module?
I mean, our target, we don't have a strict qualification. We target the youth in various communities.
You target them?
Yes.
So you choose who you want to work with?
Yes.
People cannot apply to you?
No, they can't apply.
On what criteria do you choose, or by what criteria do you choose your target communities and the individuals that you work with within the communities?
Yeah, our criteria is reaching the chiefs and people, opinion leaders at the communities. We also have the JIDA officials in those districts. So we reach out to them, we talk to the chiefs, and then they know the unemployment situation there. Then the way we did when we were piloting the first project, we reach out to them. And then we try to, because we have been on the ground for some time, we managed to get other skilled small-scale miners across the country, which we know them very well. Then we assemble them in such communities. And though we don't take them more, we try to, the number does not exceed that of the community. Normally the community is about 2/3 of the number we take, and then a third from identifiable youth groups we know. We have been on the ground for years, so we know. that we can pilot it in that way. So that's the only criteria that we are using to target the youth in such communities. Then we also believe that those who voluntarily who become members, depending on how they see our documents, our processes. We have come out with various degree of, how you can be registered. But that is based on your own voluntary will, because if you open it and you don't restrict it, you find yourself these illegal miners. We know a lot of them. We have been on the ground. We know the way they act and the way they do their things. They will only be coming to just disorganize the whole system. So if they want to come, then strictly they have to abide by our rules and regulations. That is another criteria that we have adopted.
Then Kwame Hayford is asking a question about the dangers or the risks of mining. Mining has been described as one of the highest risk professions in the world, more dangerous than being a fighter pilot, I read somewhere. And we keep talking about the environment. What about the miners themselves? What are the health and life risks, and how do you think these should be addressed?
Before I even talk about that, we have even putting in place right now a situation where we are bringing in the insurance companies and all.
Vanguard
Assurance, actually, they've been talking to us for a while now, and they are going to come on the grounds and ensure them, see to their welfare in that regard. But apart from that, we are also going to instill into them and then to ensure the usage of risk reductive products, like all of these boots, the Wellington boots, and all of these safety what do you call it, the wares, and then we ensure that all of those things are adhered to. They are part of the best practices. So that when it happens, and I'll tell you one thing, what brings about all these people have died in the pit and all of that, I'll tell you. You see, actually, the people that dig the ground, the people that open the pits, okay, they extract the gravel, okay, and then they wash their thing. After they've done that, other people, like I don't know what to call them, like Guru boys, they come in, and then they also want to come and take the leftovers. So you see, let's say for instance, gravels have been removed from here, but then it goes a little bit down under the other side, but whoever opened didn't go there. So when they start taking those little pieces and they realize that it goes further, then they dig under and they keep going under the thing, to the extent that now when it goes to a certain point, you see, now it makes the top weak, then it falls on them. That's what happens, you see. And they will come very ferocious. You don't want them to go in, they will go in, So what we are looking at doing with youth in mining is that once the person extracts the gravel, the pit is covered.
You call it cut and
that's it.
Cut
so that they won't have the chance to go in there and go doing those things. Most of the time, that is what brings the hazard. It is not like the sand they've removed upstairs comes down. That is not what it is. What actually happens is that they dig under the thing. They keep going until now, the weight of the sand upstairs breaks in, and then it kills them. And then on the other hand too, some of them will wash back into the pit. And then, I'm talking about pits that are about some 4 times its height. So then water goes all the way up, and then something triggers, and you see people falling in.
You're talking about a pit that's about the depth of an 8-story building.
I'm telling you that.
Sometimes.
Like this flat you're seeing behind
them. They are tracing it where...
They keep going. And that is when whoever actually came to work had removed what he wanted. And these people will go I stood at a place that I was looking at somebody right down there. And where I was looking from, that is where the water had got into. But from the water to the depth, and he was standing in there. And somewhere under there, still digging under the thing, wanting to remove, those leftovers.
Now, how different is the situation from what the expelled Chinese miners were doing? And what is expected of the task force? Asked Nana Abu Bonsra. Is it true that they were asked to destroy the machines and equipment left behind by the exiting illegal miners?
Yeah, let me come in there. In the realm of opinion, we have also heard from other sources, whether it's allegation or what, that have been the leftover excavators and other equipment that are used are being sent bent or something.
And the concessions, what about the concessions
Yes,
themselves?
and the concessions too are left uncovered.
With pits open.
Pits open. So we have proposed immediately to the task force that there can be some form of mobilizing even the illegal miners themselves, shut them back, and use the same equipment that they are reported to have been bending them or whatever.
Abandoned equipment.
Yes. Yeah. Mobilize virtually, involve the UT mining, involve all other associations of small-scale mining, and then others in the various areas that the evacuation has taken place, so that for a period of 3 to 6 months we will be able to repair the damage. I remember in Isiakwa, the same thing happened with Kibi Goldfields. I remember I thought I've been here with those problems, and we UT mining, we were part of. We team up with the military, the station military people, the Kibi Goldfields, and the illegal miners were forced to recover, use the same escape, and recover the place. We were on them for quite a long period of time, and that was done. And eventually, Kibi Goldfield has to, through a recommendation, has to give a portion of their land for them. But unfortunately, it happens that they continue to do the same thing again.
They wanted to continue with illegality.
But normally we say that some of these things must be sustained. Sometimes this task force, as they are going on, and this proposal, if they take it, they involve especially the UT mining managers who have, over the years, has proposed a number of, solutions. Then with the associations and others, our involvement in that direction will help to some extent. When we are able to repair the damage that has been done, it will be better. And then we find a new way of, reorganize under the UT mining model. For example, we are proposing the issue of a chamber of small-scale mining. And I put that in those documents, if you go through. And that chamber, if we have the support, especially, it's a program between REMOF and JIDA. We proposed it some time ago. And now we think that we are putting a lot of pressure on the government. And we think that that chamber will be something that we put in place. And that there we can put up all the necessary informations, ideas that people have come with. Even the small-scale miners, they are very clever and they can propose a lot of ideas. They have
absolutely. I'm surprised to say that you've had to. You think that you need to put pressure on the government, because I don't think anyone put pressure way back in 2005 and 2006 on all those illegal Chinese immigrants to come, or anyone put pressure on Galamsey miners who you say scavenge and try to process the tailings and dig, into the expected concessions. But the time has run out for us right now. I've been talking to the two Michaels from the Ghana Retired Mine Workers Foundation, Michael Brugge, the Executive Director, sitting right next to me, and Michael Veal, the Deputy Director. And I've been trying to find out how the Youth in Mining module works and what it can do to change our attitudes towards illegal mining.